Welcome to the Trilogy Retrospective of Art, Architecture, and Community. Yes, that's what I'm about. Three things: art, architecture, and community. And I am proud to present today to the ILIR in Boca. We're Zooming, we're still not in person. It's January 26, 2022. And I have three websites: artdecopb.org, which is for Art Deco preservation, by Sharon.com, which is my name we'll see today, and Art in the Alley, which we'll learn about today as well. So welcome 2022. Actually, I recycled this photo. I did this in 2021, but I just changed the date on there through Photoshop. So I'm going to be having a show called a Retrospective Trilogy: Art, Art Deco, Architecture, and Community in Lake Worth. And the opening day will be April 28th, which is Art Deco World Day. It'll run through June 13th. And it's in Lake Worth downtown, where the shuffleboard courts are, the historic building that they remodeled. It's the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority, which is called Lula. And their website is lakewortharts.org. As soon as the Corona started last March, I knew I had to do something, you know, just sitting in the house. We were in shutdown, and it was March of 2020. And I developed this idea, Alone Together, a Corona crisis collage. And, you know, we shut down March 14th, and immediately March 21st, I made this sketch of Alone Together. We see here the word alone overlapping the word together. And I pulled out my screens in the house and bought a roll of canvas online. You know, we just buy everything from Amazon. And I start taping out the word together. And I like to show you all the mistakes and all the measuring that goes into something. It just doesn't magically appear. And I started copying the headlines. I was saving them on my computer, printing them out. Hundreds, look at all this, 139 headlines. My favorite one, "The Creative Will Survive." I don't know where that is, but, oh, there it is, "The Creative Will Survive." And of course, that has a lot of meaning to me. I cut them out to look like a cloud for heavenly headlines. And I put them, it's going on its own. I put them in a diagonal like a hurricane, because this virus is like a storm that's attacking us and we can't do anything about it. So I got this foam, this insulation, these big sheets of foam. I went to Home Depot and they loaded my car. Even though I wasn't going out, I bought it online. And I cut out the words alone. Now, it would have been easy if I just collaged it all, but I wanted to socially distance the word alone 6 inches from the collage, 6 inches representing the 6 feet of social distancing. You know, this is before masks, before the vaccine. This is before anything. This is like 1 week into the virus. And if you recall, right away, there was a toilet paper shortage. So I had been collecting the toilet paper tubes, and I painted them in heavenly fashion because, you know, this was to honor people that were dying of COVID, so the people in heaven. So on my patio, I cut little squares to make spacers to keep the words alone in front of the mural. And I put them on the backs. This is the back. See how the spacers are there? I painted it because I'm a professional. Everything has to be very perfect and professional. It's like you have to make something look machine made, even though you're an artist. And then I put out a call, and I got a response from 113 artists. Because we're working with the number 6, I said, send me a 6-inch square of something that's relevant to you. And these are all the submissions I got. You know, anything that had to do with the virus or that you were going through personally, or the art you were making now. You know, I started encouraging artists, hey, start making art. You know, you're home alone. Just don't, you know, waste away, because it was really hard. So I got all these submissions, and I printed them out small, and I cut them out, and I made a model of where they would go. And this was my downstairs. This is my home, which just became one big studio, right? We'll see this, hold it. We'll see this later. This is a John Lennon mural. We'll see this later. This is pastels of my friends and family. But here we are working. Here's the printer set up. And this is the actual letter. Now I was ready to cut out the actual letter and start printing, the 100 submissions that I had and gluing them down. You had to test what glues were going to work. And here's a panorama view from left to right of what it looked like. How to figure out how it's going to hang, right? And then the Cultural Council said they would hang it in Lake Worth. So wow, what an honor that was going to be. So I wrapped it up, put it in my van, and they let me paint on the wall because now it was bigger. I got more submissions than the word alone. So I added the word 2020. And that means two things, the year 2020, but it also means in hindsight now, if we only knew all the things we know now, we could have saved so many lives. So here's the installation at the Cultural Council in Lake Worth, downtown Lake Worth, which is in an Art Deco building, which we'll see later. Here it is again. And I love the reflection in the floor. The only problem is no one got to see it because the museum was closed. Now this April, Lula will have the Trilogy and we will reinstall this in downtown Lake Worth, and all the artists will be able to come and see their submission and see the rest of the show. So here I'm showing you, see how the letters is standing away from the background. They're socially distancing from the background. It made the headlines of the Palm Beach Post and the Shiny Sheet, which is a wonderful honor in itself. And here's some of the submissions. And here, this butterfly is very symbolic. Patricia Peters, my birthday was yesterday, January 24th, and she's making me a butterfly brunch on Sunday. And it all started because she was so home alone. And I said, Patty, start making clay. And she started this whole butterfly series, which she's still working on a year and a half later, almost 2 years later. So public art is what I do. And public art can be seen by all. It creates a dialogue in the community. But sometimes public art is controversial. Sometimes you don't like it. An example would be Diego Rivera with his Mexican modernism, which is an exhibit right now through February 6th at the Norton Museum of Art. He's married to Frida Kahlo, and he created a mural, and he put a portrait of Lenin, a known communist, in a mural that was going to open in Rockefeller Center. Here it is right here, the portrait of Lenin right here. So when John Rockefeller discovered on the day of the opening that this mural had a communist, he shut it down, painted over, and no one ever saw it. Diego Rivera went back to Mexico City where he lived, repainted the whole mural, and you can see it there still today. At the same time, in the 1920s, Howard Carter discovered King Tut's tomb. And by 1925, everything became Egyptian, was all the rage. I just visited Egypt. It was on my bucket list 2-3 years ago. I just went to see the Sphinx. It was wonderful. So by 1925, they had the International Exposition des Arts Décoratifs et Industriels Modernes, which is the machine age, a celebration of the straight line, a revolt against Art Nouveau, which is feminine, flowery, and organic and things growing. Art Deco is speed and geometry and hard edge and linear. So we see here the word Arts Décoratif, and in 1968, they shortened this word to Arts Deco. So we just call everything from 1925 to 1939 Art Deco. 1939 World War II started, and all the machine age and factories started building things for the war. So we see here, it says April to October. April 28th is World Art Deco Day, now proclaimed. And we just got the mayor of Lake Worth, Mayor Betty Resch, to proclaim in Lake Worth Art Deco World Day, April 28th. So my career, though, as a mural artist started in 1970s. I was 14. My sister got married. Hold it. And she said, let's paint a mural in my new apartment. This is my nephew and my parents. My nephew is now 51. Anyway, I just got some masking tape and put it on the wall and bought some red paint and some black paint. and we had a mural. This was my husband and to be. So of course I went right home and painted a mural in my bedroom, right? I got more masking tape. And, you know, in the 70s, everything was olive green. So of course I had olive green shag carpet. And I painted these steps. This pyramid shape, not knowing that this is the basis for all things Art Deco. This stepping down, this geometry. My sister moved and got another apartment, and she wanted another mural. So I painted another mural for her, but this time I wanted to round the corners. And this rounding of the corners, this speed, is called streamline moderne. So we can also learn about Art Deco. Everything in Art Deco, whoa, sorry, is in groups of threes. So we'll see here, 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll see racing stripes and rounded corners in architecture. Now, how did I paint this mural? Because we know I use masking tape, but the lines are black. So what I did was I painted the whole wall black. I put masking tape, and with a razor blade, I hand cut these curves and then painted the gray and the terracotta. And then when I pulled off the tape, the line was black, whereas we saw before the line was white. I got my own apartment. I love New York. We see the Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building. And, you know, the World Trade Centers were not that great architecture. It was not known for the best architecture, the World Trade Centers. But I love the rainbow, and I built this table, which I still have, and my sculptures. I joined the Art Deco Society in New York, and I helped design this program. My name is in the program. Here we see 1, 2, 3. We see the eagle, which is a masculine animal. And this year, 2022, the Art Deco Society of the Palm Beaches, which I am the founding president, is 35 years. So I created a new logo, which you're the first ones to see. So in New York, I had a needlepoint company where I hand designed needle point, Needlecraft by Sharon. And you can see I signed it by Sharon. Okay. And when years later we are on the internet and you need an email address, it's by Sharon. My website is bysharon.com, because Koskoff was just too hard to spell or remember. And to this day, I still do needlepoint. I design them, but I sign it by Sharon.com. And I was coming to Florida, and I made my final painting to remember New York by, of similar to the mural in my house. But look at all the design you put in a painting. You would never put that much design in a mural. Murals are large scale. I moved to Florida December 1985, and the first thing I did was paint purple palm trees. When you lived in New York, you did not paint palm trees. You come to Florida and you learn to paint palm trees. I wrote 2 books, Art Deco of the Palm Beaches and Murals of the Palm Beaches, which is a recent book. This is in color, and I'm just showing you this now, but this is part of my legacy. And I'm friends with Linda Stabile, who owns this home, and it's Art Deco. These are called eyebrows, these flat linear plane, these shelves. Well, these are decorative. Eyebrows are usually over a window that will prevent the sun from coming in, or over a doorway. We see here 3 portholes. Portholes are Art Deco elements because, you know, we see travel in the 1930s, the Jazz Age, the Art Deco era. You know, people buy cars, automobiles, they're driving, they're on ships, they're cruising around the world, you know, airplanes, they're traveling. So portholes are Art Deco elements. And I just designed this building. We use the Egyptian colors, right? The turquoises and terracottas. And this is the house. We see triangles, circles. Here's the eyebrow that goes around the whole house. And a very important Art Deco element in architecture is a flat roof. As opposed to the triangular roof, the Mediterranean style that we see everywhere in Florida, that Spanish, you know, ceramic barrel tile roof. So flat roof is very important in geometric architecture, in modernism, and in Art Deco streamlined modern. The Armory Art Center, I taught it for 15 years, is Art Deco. And we know, we see the stepping down, we see the eyebrow, we see these lines are called fluted ribbing, these vertical lines. And we see the word armory, which is a relief. It tells you what's going on in the building. That's an Art Deco element that was very popular in the modern day. And here's a historic building. The Armory was built in 1939 by William Manley King. It was actually a fort, a National Guard pavilion. The School of Arts, which is the old Twin Lakes High School. Look, see how it steps down. It also steps back. Here's some fluted ribbing, vertical lines. And here's those rounded corners we talk about, the rounded, streamlined modern. And of course, the 1, 2, 3, the groups of threes. This is also William Manley King. Now, the whole Dreyfus School of Arts campus is not Art Deco. It's mostly Mediterranean Revival, but this building, of course, is Art Deco. And the Norton Museum of Art, the old entrance, believe it or not, is Art Deco. We see 1, 2, 3. We see flat roofs, and we see the sculpture of bronze of Diana and Actaeon. We see some fluted ribbing. We see the little pyramid steps. We see ribbing here. And Paul Manship is the artist that designed the Prometheus fountain in Rockefeller Center, which we see every day on television, on NBC, on the Today Show. We saw it in all the Christmas movies where they go ice skating. So Paul Manship did the Prometheus fountain, and right here in Palm Beach County, West Palm Beach, the Norton Museum of Art on Olive Avenue. And behind those sculptures are 3 relief: inspiration, imagination, and interpretation, which we know when you put relief on a building, it tells you what's going on. It was the museum. And this is where the Alone Together Corona Crisis Collage building is. This is the Cultural Council building in downtown Lake Worth. It was formerly the Lake Theater. So let's see, we see the little stepping down. We see groups of threes, 1, 2, 3 times 2. So 1, 2, 3 again. We see fluted ribbing, the rounded corners, and of course the flat roof. This building looks lovely in pure white, the original colors that the building was. We don't need to paint up the colors or highlight the, the elements in any level. It looks lovely the way it is, although it does have a new entrance. And here's like a more artsy photograph of it, like pointing to heaven. We could see the fluted ribbing here, the 1, 2, 3 is better. We see, of course, these circles, which are geometric. And here's another photo of it, very abstract. And right in front of that, I painted this fire hydrant for Veterans Day. We had 8 artists, and of course, I did a female merchant marine. I repainted it just a few years ago. It was a little gamey looking for the 40th anniversary of the Cultural Council. But if you go to downtown Lake Worth, this is what you would see. Another Art Deco building in Lake Worth. This is the Lake Worth Playhouse. And this was originally, this is not Mediterranean. This is originally what we call Moorish Deco, a Spanish influence. But we know it's Art Deco because it has the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It has the geometry, the quality. But a hurricane came and destroyed it, and it was rebuilt with the flat roof and fluted ribbing and the racing stripes and the Art Deco lettering of thick and thin, which is very angular. Even the O has straight lines. Now this building was white with dark burgundy, and this is just awnings. The awnings are not Art Deco. This just added on. We repainted it recently, and of course, yellow is the new color. All things architecture that's painted are usually in the yellows and earth tones. And I designed the neon marquee. I added neon racing stripes, and I added this Art Deco logo and blue neon. I just love contrasting the yellow. And this is what it looks like at night. It's the anchor to the gateway of downtown Lake Worth, designed by Sharon Koskoff, the Lake Worth Playhouse. The inside of the Lake Worth Playhouse still has the original ceiling of Pecky cypress, and it was originally the Oakley Theater. So we see the O and T for Oakley Theater, and we see the picture of the original building. Looks like a castle. The Society for Arts has William Wheeler bronze sculptures of the male and female, which are Art Deco. Belford Shoemate is our most important architect, and he did this house, a residence in Palm Beach. We see the 1, 2, 3. We see the rounded corners of the backyard overlooking the pool. And they actually had Art Deco furniture in the house. Look at the boxy chairs. All because you have an Art Deco house doesn't mean you have Art Deco furniture inside. And they had some murals inside. This is Nathan Dolbinsky murals by Kirby Kalouris's uncle, who owned the house at the time when I took these pictures. And this is winter, spring, summer, and fall. Another Belford Shoemate house with rounded corners and flat roof, and it kind of looks like a ship. This is in West Palm Beach with vitrolite. Vitrolite is glass tile with stripes. And this is the back of the house. Look at that. It looks like a ship, right? If you were to climb to the next level of a ship. And this is another mansion by Belford Shoemate in West Palm. And we see a stylized gate. Stylized means to elongate, to simplify. And we see here these 3 waves, which probably represent water or, Palm Beach County. And here's a little relief, a stylized flower. So Art Deco, it's not just a Miami Beach scene. Here we see all the buildings, Diana, the Norton, and a lot of things going on in Palm Beach County. So we're going to have a World Congress, the International Coalition of Art Deco Societies, which is called ICADS. Every 2 years has a World Congress. I've been to Cuba, recently Buenos Aires, Argentina. So it's going to be in Miami, a full circle, because it started with Barbara Bayer Capitman in Miami. And it's going to come full circle next year, April 2023. The pre-Congress in Miami will travel to Palm Beach County for the weekend. Ironically, it wasn't planned, it just happened. It will also be April 28th, which is Art Deco World Day, which we learned that, but the following year. So we have April 28th planned this year and next year. We'll be having a big conference right here in Palm Beach County, tours, and hold it. And I hope you all participate. But you're the first ones to hear about this. I haven't even released this. So this is hot off the presses. So this is actually the Norton Museum of Art in the pre-Congress. This is Miami pictures we see. This is the Jewish Museum in Miami, where the conference will hold the lectures. Then they're going to have a post tour. This is the Bach Tower. They're going to go to Lakeland and visit Central Florida. So it will be Palm Beach County, Miami, and Central Florida will be the World Congress on Art Deco 2023. So here in Palm Beach County, I'm an art instructor, and I wanted to talk about Old School Square, which I don't know if you know, is shutting down. The city, the mayor of Delray has just ordained, we're closing Old School Square. They gave them 6 months, and February will be the end. It is a very, very sad thing. I worked there for 18 years as an instructor, and I taught mixed media on Tuesdays from 1 to 4. These are some of my student works, and I thought we would highlight all the wonderful things they did, and for no reason other than probably money, the city is shutting down Old School Square. Horrible, just horrible. So I did a project called the Open Door Project, where I got 111 recycled doors, and artists came and painted on the front and back of the doors, and then they were on display. I painted them in the back of the amphitheater of Old School Square, where they have the music. And here we see Drop Closet, everybody working on their doors. My friend Sylvia Resnick, very good friend, here she is. Sean Terrell, who just called me, he moved to upstate Pennsylvania. He just called to wish me happy birthday. It was his door. He carved the door. right? Because artists, we could do whatever we want. Here's Mark, who worked at Old School Square. There's mom and dad with dad's door. I still have this door, one of the few doors remaining. But here they are on display. It was right by City Hall, and it was a tourist attraction. People came and walked through the maze of 111 doors. And here I am with Joe Gilly, who was the director of Old School Square for 25 years. Rick Lowe, who worked with the project, Sean Terrell, who we just know. This is an unknown woman and an unknown lady. I don't know who that is, but there I am with the doors, the open door project. Another project they did in the gymnasium, we had a Give Peace a Chance, a John Lennon exhibit. So I have this right now in my living room, but I did John Lennon, kind of Andy Warhol style. I did another mural of, here I am on the Sun Sentinel. We had a love-in. Oh, here's the other mural right here. We had a love-in. Here it is finished. Give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. And there I am with my Yoko Ono wig at the love-in at Old School Square. So then there was a children's room in the museum, and I wound up painting like, I don't know, 8 or 10 murals on this same wall. You see, I'm actually painting on the wall. As time progressed, I started putting a piece of canvas on half of the wall so I could roll it up, because each time, you know, it lasted about 6 months instead of destroying my art. But here I am on a 10-foot ladder. Here it is finished. This was for Somewhere Over the Rainbow mural. We did an underwater mural. Here's the kids coloring it. Actually, this one was colored in with markers, but you can see it's on canvas. And I have this now finished, rolled up. Here's Gloria Adams, who was the director of the museum for 25 years. With kids, whenever there would be a student show, you know how you make art and you frame it and it gets hung in a show. Well, you know, you never get kids to frame their work. So we did fish, which is shaped and is a group installation. So they didn't have to, like, you know, pay money and get it framed. And the kids' installations are like better than anyone else's adult work. Here we have kids doing just on cardboard. You can see a cardboard box. We did a butterfly mural on there. I apparently love butterflies because we're having a butterfly birthday, as I said, Sunday. But here we did a butterfly installation where there was a wall in that room, and I painted it and we hung butterflies. Here's kids' project, Statue of Liberty. All because they're kids doesn't mean they have to do little projects. I like big things, big murals, and big projects. We run something called Canvas and Cocktails, where it's like a step-by-step and you drink and have some wine and have fun. So here I am with a group, and here's another finished project. Everybody has cocktails and makes a work of art. And I'm wearing the Old School Square t-shirt, which everything I own has paint on it, if you know me. They had a bling show where everything was shiny and glittery. So without asking, I just made this frame and put it by the bar, and everyone knew to take selfies. These are my friends, but you just, and you post it on Facebook, right? So you go and take a picture, bling. I did a Louise Nevelson art workshop, a one-day workshop where we learned about Louise Nevelson, the artist, and we use recyclables. I love to recycle art. Here's those toilet paper tubes again that I'm famous for saving and using. And so here we learned about how to make a Louise Nevelson. So she was famous for monochromatic, which means one color. So we made this collage, or three-dimensional sculpture, you might call it. But when you paint it all one color, instead of seeing toilet paper tubes, you now see, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and you see in and out and stepping down, and you see shapes. I'm not saying that this is Art Deco. I'm saying that it's geometric, and you're learning about Louise Nevelson and shape and form and composition and sculpture. I do color theory workshops. I'm a color theorist. So here are some students coloring in, learning how to neutralize colors to make brown. Opposite colors make brown, warm and cool. So red, orange, and yellow are warm, blue, green, and purple are cool. You mix them up, you get dirty water or brown. And we're learning scales and tonalities here. Here's another more murals on those walls. Here, when we did the Lost Tribe, I actually took ripped paper and made a chicky hut. You can see right here, here's the line where the canvas was, and I was able to roll this up and keep some of the mural and reapply this in the puppetry center in downtown Lake Worth when they were there. Barbie, she's back and she's 50. We did a Barbie mural. I always work with people. I always have helpers and volunteers. And we made this fantastic Barbie mural. More butterflies. They had a cat exhibit at Old School Square. So, you know, being a color theorist, I said, why don't we contrast color on black and white? And that's how we have this mural, which I still have. And I put glitter in the eyes. You know, this is a 20-foot mural. It's hard to capture it all in one picture. And then I had the kids make three-dimensional paper mache cats that went in the exhibit. Putting Around Golf Course had an exhibit at Old School Square. I did a mural, and this was in day glow. I never worked with fluorescent paints. And when you shine a black light, wow, psychedelic. But you could see here, they had the actual golf course. So you could play golf, you know, with the background of the mural and the day glow. Is very, very cool. World on a String, when Old School Square had a kite exhibit. I did a kite mural. Kids around the world, multicultural, colorful kites. And I have this mural on canvas. In the Field House, which is the gymnasium, there are 5 venues in Old School Square. The Vintage Gymnasium, the Crest Theater, which also houses the school, the museum, which is the Cornell Museum of Art, and the amphitheater. Old School Square is comprised of 5 venues. So in the Field House, we had an event, and I drew out these squares for Old School Square, and we painted them in 5 colors representing the 5 venues. In art, we always try to be symbolic. You know, you're just looking at this and going, oh, it's squares. But we always try to be symbolic. And if you see the Old School Square logo, which is the Q, this one has the Old School Square Q right there. Okay. More recently, we had an open house. This is the Old School Square Vintage Gymnasium, which is called the Field House. And all the instructors set up a booth and you could come and meet us to take a class. So of course, they hung up this panel with a mural and they put my booth right there, never telling me anything, saying, oh, we're gonna paint a mural here. So of course I knew Sharon Koskoff would take over and they put my booth next to the mural. Without any warning, I took tape and I wrote, make your mark. I don't know if you could see, this is Peter Pereira, a good friend of mine who just passed away 2 weeks ago. Hi, Peter. And then everybody came and just painted whatever they wanted with my supervision. Paint, 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 color, color, color. And here I am with Ralph Papa. He's an instructor at Old School Square, if you know Ralph. And it looks like this. And then, is this a video? We pulled off the tape. And when we pull off the tape, let's go back. I just wanted to zip through this. There we go. Zipping through. Make your mark.
Perfect. Yay! That is awesome.
Thank you, Ralph.
Yay!
So we have fun. Art should always be fun, right? We always want art to be fun. Wait, how do I get out of this now? Next. All right. I'm known for my giant puppets, all for one night. I made these giant puppets, 14-foot tall on wheels for our first night in New Year's Eve with the city, with the Chamber of Commerce. I went to 10 different organizations and we picked out what we wanted to make. And for like 10 years, they marched all for one night. all this work. And it would end up in the tennis center where they would have the fireworks back here, shooting off fireworks. And we'd only use them one night a year. The problem was, where did you store them the rest of the year? But here's the parade. Here's New Year's Eve. It would be my favorite night of the year. A lot of people don't know, but I did the Pineapple Grove Arts District archway. See, here's the base. It's mosaic tile. I designed it and installed, literally installed it. If you were to open this up, it would be 28 running feet of mosaic tile. This is next to that pineapple mural that everyone thinks I did, but did not. I'm known for the Flower Festival mural. You could do a mural in flowers, right? We did this twice, 15,000 flowers by the Intracoastal Waterway in downtown Delray. And we would take children's designs, and I made the design, and we'd like a hook rug, yellow, 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 red, red, red in rows. And then for 3 months, everybody would volunteer, and there would be a schedule, and they'd water the flowers. It was fabulous. Carver Middle School, they just tore this mural down. This was right across the street by La Bamba Restaurant. I love colors, right? It's all about color. Pine Grove Elementary School, a peace mural. Atlantic High School had to show diversity by people wearing different hats and people wearing different shoes. Saving the water line, you know, climate change. We make murals that tell and teach and educate. This was about Masters Going Green. This was about recycling. I put this on tape outside, not tape, I put it on canvas. We taped it on the wall because they were gonna tear this building down and a year later move into a new building. So here we're outdoors in a hallway painting this mural. A year later, we take the canvas off the wall and tape it inside. And it's masters like Mona Lisa, Andy Warhol, music like Louis Armstrong, Picasso with the recycle logo. There's my Papa Ruby, helping me, working with the kids, reinstalling a mural on canvas. We did a hallway. We did handprints in the still Plamosa School of the Arts in Delray. And here, symbolically, every student, 600 handprints, 300 kids. The kindergartners were the earth, the soil. First graders were the topsoil. The second graders were the roots, were the green with flowers are growing. The third graders, they blossom, we did the flowers. The fourth graders were the trees. And the fifth and sixth graders were the branches that protect the younger kids. And here I had the teachers do a mural. The teachers did the earth. Where are we? Come back, come back. Come back. And this was the teacher's handprints. So every person in that school did a handprint. That was such an interesting, messy project. Banyan Creek, we did butterflies again. Look how butterflies keep coming back in my life. So I was a chairperson of Public Art Advisory Board in Delray Beach for many years. And again, we did children's art where they drew I Love Delray pictures. And we, to this day, our bus shelters throughout Delray have children's art. And of course, we lost this building and this became the Old School Square parking garage where they put the Christmas tree each year. But it used to be the Love's Drug building, and we had the Love's Drug mural with pineapples for Pineapple Grove, and we planted Pineapple Grove. We planted pineapples in the garden. I like to change a neighborhood. We want to change things. If you paint a pretty mural in a pretty neighborhood, well, that's nice. But when you take a wall like this on West Atlantic Avenue and turn it into this, that's changing the neighborhood and planting a garden. And this was Old Delray with the Old Delray and the Everglades, people fishing, and the music, the jazz on the avenue restaurants. And this is a very recent project I just did for the South Florida Science Museum, which just changed their name to the Cox Museum. I brought my Art in the Alley artists to volunteer. This is my friend Sharon White. She just came over last night for my birthday. We painted this dinosaur that was down in Homestead for the FP&L, but they donated it to the Science Museum. They no longer want to be associated with dinosaur. Dinosaur means fossil fuel. They want to be, the future. So we painted the head first. We tested the head, and then they installed it at the museum. So thank God we painted the head because it's 30 foot tall. And I had to work on this lift. I had to learn how to navigate the lift, but look how short someone is. Look how tall 30 foot is. And there we are as a group having fun, our Art in the Alley fun artists. And then they landscaped it all. It's just beautiful. And now they even put a mask on it. And they named it Rosie the Dinosaur because of the red color. But we signed the concrete, artinthealley.org, one of our websites. So I work with Lisa and James in this Art in the Alley project, Lisa and James Quillian. They own a lot of property in what's called Osceola Park in downtown Delray. It's just south of Old School Square. It's the southeastern region. And they came to me and said, we have all these alleys. We want to improve our neighborhood. That's what I want to do. I want to improve a neighborhood through art. So I said, okay, I'll get artists together. I have a lot of paint. I'll donate the paint and the brushes, and we'll hang it in the alley. You'll pick an old alley that really needs help, and you'll clear the alley, and we'll get the neighbors to paint their fences or fix their fences. And here we are. One day we paint, and one day we party. Here we took not a fence, but a wall that needed, in an alley. And again, this really needed help. First thing I did was just paint the background. Whoa, look how pretty. And then we hung art. There's James hanging the art. We work on 3 foot by 5 foot hardy boards, which are concrete exterior panels. You can work vertical or horizontal. And the artists paint whatever they want. This party was on Valentine's Day, so we called it Heart in the Alley. So you could see the hearts, the heart theme. Everybody painted a lot of hearts, including me, Heart in the Alley. And then we have a party, and hundreds of people come out. Food, music, really, really great. Here's my friend Sandy. She just broke her wrist and had wrist surgery today. I hope she's doing okay. But you see the art hanging. Here we had cats in the alley. Now we do themes every year. So we took cat pictures, everybody dressed up. We wore whiskers and little cat ears. You can see here the alley and hundreds of people in the alley. The politicians come out because they know there'll be hundreds of people at this event. One day paint, one day party. So we didn't have it last year, and we're going to have it this year. And now I'm having some hip problems, and we probably won't have it. Art in the Alley grew so big that the new Aloft Hotel downtown Delray wanted it, but they wanted 4 foot by 8 foot panels. Here they are installing it on the wall. We called it Tropical Alley at the Aloft Hotel. There's 17 panels. Oh. And this is what I did for the Tropic Alley. I did what's called a tessellation, which Escher does that, where everything interlocks. You could see that right now. Here's some other art in the alleys. Everybody did a tropical theme. And the last one that we did was right before Corona shut us down, which was March 14th. It was the last really big public event. And here we see everybody painting. Here we see music. So here it is. Here's what goes on. I bring all the paint. I give everyone all the instructions in the morning. There's James and Lisa. The police come, everybody's invited. And this is the 211 building where we do our painting. They own, James and Lisa own this building, and it's a big party place, but we use it for, of course, painting. Here's someone doing a painting of a historic colony hotel. Not Art Deco, but historic. We love historic buildings in Florida, whether they're Art Deco or not. There's Lisa and James. He's the chef. He cooks for hundreds of people. We have a big party. Here's everyone painting. And it just goes on. People paint into the night. They have such a great time. And this was called Art Deco in the Alley because 2020 was the roaring 20s. So we finally, after 10 years, we did Art Deco in the Alley. And here's everybody doing Art Deco patterns. The jazz, dancing roaring 20s. Modern geometry, the flapper days. And here we are painting. And at night, into the night, they bring kids, bring their dogs, great time. So this was the outcome of Art Deco in the Alley. This is what I did right here, the jazz man with a little Art Deco border. Here, the jazz man is painting. And then we have the party. Let's roar, Art Deco, let's roar, roaring 20s. Chaka Radim plays music for us all the time, volunteers. And we had Art Deco hats for everyone. Get in the spirit. Everybody's in costume, Egyptian costumes. Make the front page of the newspaper every time. Again, April 2020. This is the last issue of the Del Rey newspaper. They now are out of business. Corona put them out of business. We've lost so many businesses and restaurants, and people are out of work, and people died. I mean, this pandemic has been so difficult. And we were in the last issue. Yay. So if you'd like to know where Art in the Alley is, you can go to artinthealley.org. You can get in your car, it's free, and you can tour all our alleys, print out the map. artinthealley.org. And here's me with Lisa at the Art Deco party. So we're almost done now. Thank you for bearing with me. And this is the latest thing I just did, November 5th. Old School Square is shutting down, and the last exhibit was called Heart of the Square. So I got a cake, OSS. I got my Art in the Alley artist to come. I put up the canvas. I taped it out. Remember, make your mark. So I did the same thing. I taped out in black tape. And again, I used the square here, Heart of the Square. We painted it out white, not to influence anyone. Brought my paints. Everyone started painting. There was Jen. And it was the opening of the museum night called First Friday Art Walk. So it was November 5th, the first Friday of November. And this exhibit will be on through February, which is just a few more days, and then we'll shut down forever. There's Sharon. And there's Ralph Popper again. We're all painting our mural. And we pulled off the tape, right? Heart of the Square. I had people sign the edges so everybody could go down in history. Someone took a picture of me, yay. We pulled off the tape. Took a video of that. There we are. It was a great night. So I want to thank you all for coming to this lecture, this Zoom. And this is right now in the Cornell Museum of Art, the Heart of the Square. And I'm the Duchess of Deco signing off. Thank you.